Nothing poisons a soul faster than watching someone else receive the grace you don't think they deserve. Jordan had worked at the non-profit for 8 years. He never missed a deadline, stayed late, helped others train, covered for his boss on holidays. Everyone from the janitor to the board knew Jordan had paid his dues. So when the new leadership position opened, his name was on everyone's shortlist, except one person's. Instead, the job went to Seth, a guy who had been fired 2 years earlier. Left town, came back renewed, and was now the shiny face of redemption. Jordan smiled at the meeting, clapped when the announcement was made, but that night he sat on his porch with a drink in hand and the bitter truth in his chest. I did everything right, and I'm still outside watching the party happen without me. Jesus tells the story of a son who runs away, squanders everything, and comes crawling back in shame, only to be welcomed home with open arms, music, and a fattened calf. But the story doesn't end there, because there's another son. The older brother became angry and refused to go in, so his father went out and pleaded with him. This brother hadn't left. He hadn't rebelled. He'd stayed, worked, obeyed, and waited. And now grace felt like betrayal. This parable is not just about lostness. It's about how those who stay close can still drift far. The older brother wasn't wrong about what he'd done. He had been faithful, but bitterness grows when we believe that obedience equals entitlement. He didn't just want love, he wanted to earn it. And when grace is given freely to someone else, especially someone who hurt the family, it can feel like robbery. At a Thanksgiving table in Michigan last year, a family welcomed back their daughter after a decade of addiction, rehab, relapses, and courtrooms. She was thin, shaky, but clean. This time for 7 months. Her mother cried. Her father hugged her. Her little nephews clapped. But her older sister, she didn't say a word. She had stayed. She had raised her siblings when mom and dad were in hospitals and courtrooms. She had paid her dues. When asked why she seemed distant, she said, "It's like we forgot the damage she did, and now she just gets to come back like none of it happened." What's stunning about the parable is this. The father runs to meet the lost son on the road, and he goes out to plead with the angry son in the field. Grace is not just for the rebellious, it's for the resentful too. Jesus reveals a truth we don't talk about enough. You can be in the Father's house, doing the right things, and still not know the Father's heart. The younger son returns broken and receives mercy. The older son stands outside, convinced he's been wronged, and stays bitter. Jesus doesn't tell us how the story ends. Why? Because the question isn't what happens to him. It is, what will you do when grace goes to someone you think didn't deserve it? Discussion questions. Have you ever felt like the older brother, doing everything right but feeling overlooked? Why does grace sometimes make us angry? What's the difference between fairness and love in the way Jesus tells the story? Who in your life has received forgiveness or favor that stirred resentment in you? And what does that say about your view of grace? Next week on Stories Jesus Told Again. The broken net. When your plans fall apart so something bigger can begin. We'll explore what happens when your best efforts fail, your dreams collapse, and God is still at work beneath the surface.